There's a cloud that's been hanging over the art world for some time now. And if you're an artist, you already know about it. I've been wanting to do a video on this topic since starting my channel, and now it's finally time. It's the quiet dread when you scroll through social media and see an endless feed of AI images. All polished, all soulless, all swallowing up the attention that once belonged to human hands. It's the sinking feeling when you realize that some of your favorite studios, magazines, and even indie developers are already swapping real artists for generative models. I'm sure many of us felt and thought the same. If a machine can do it faster, cheaper, and on demand, then where do I fit into this art world anymore? Is it worth investing my time in, or is it just time to quit? Generative AI isn't a random tool, and it's not just another brush in the toolbox as they like to pitch it in every other event. It's a tidal wave reshaping everything, and not in a beautiful, poetic way tech evangelists like to describe it. No, this wave doesn't care what it destroys and who it swallows up along the way. So join me once again on a quest to become a better artist while we talk about Gen AI art and its impact on artists. Let's start with the first ugly point. People, or should I better call them tech evangelists, call AI art progress, and like to compare it to the beginnings of digital art and even photography. But it's not progress. You still need a lot of skill and dedication to your craft to be a photographer or a digital artist. Those tools didn't make the thing for you. You had to learn the craft and the mediums you use it in. Mastering any digital software alongside art fundamentals is no easy task. So to get back to it, AI art is progress. But it's progress for corporations. They'll tell you that it makes art available to all, that anyone can now express themselves visually. But let's not kid ourselves. That's just a marketing spin. You can artistically express yourself at any time you choose to do so. In fact, that's what separates the true artist from everyone else. The time and effort they were willing to put into their craft. What's really happening is the stripping of value. The years you've spent training your eye, building your skills, learning your software, and pouring your soul into sketchbooks. That's all being treated as raw fuel. Just more data to scrape, a free buffet for models to consume and spit back out as AI slop. So let's call it by its real name. AI art is pure, raw automation. It's the industrialization of imagery, designed to speed up content pipelines and strip labor costs. And when you hear people cheer about how accessible it is, remember, what's accessible for them is exploitative for you. The gaming industry is one of the first big test sites for AI art, alongside the film and animation industries. And it makes sense. Games need so much visual content. Concept art, textures, environment, promotional material, and UI design. Thousands of assets for even a small indie title. Studios are already struggling with brutal deadlines, high turnover, and a constant hunger for more and more. They always needed faster, bigger, better. For them, AI isn't a creative partner, it's their cutting-cost dream come true. Imagine this, where a team of concept artists once brainstormed and drew their ideas for weeks. Now AI can generate thousands of iterations overnight. Where freelancers once built their careers designing icons, textures, or props, AI can fill that pipeline in seconds. For management, it's intoxicating. Faster production, lower budgets, and at a fraction of the workforce. For artists, it's suffocating. Jobs vanish, entry points collapse, and the ladder keeps getting pulled up just out of reach. Already, whispers are circulating about studios quietly replacing contract artists with AI-generated content. And if you've ever worked in games like I have, you know how ruthless production already is. Add AI into the equation, and suddenly human creativity becomes a luxury item. Something they'll sprinkle on top of prestige, not the foundation anymore. And then there's freelancing, the bread and butter of so many working artists. Freelancers used to thrive on clients who needed logos, illustrations, book covers, marketing art. But what happens when those clients can type fantasy book cover with a warrior princess into Midjourney and get something instantly? They stop calling you. They stop paying you. Why should they? when they can just pay a fraction of the cost to the AI companies that scraped all of your data for free and without consent or compensation. Already, platforms like Fiverr and Upwork are flooded with AI-generated work being passed off as human-made. Prices plummet. Clients who used to pay hundreds now expect miracles for $20 or worse, for free. The freelance market is collapsing into a race to the bottom where the cheapest, fastest solution wins, and AI is always cheaper, always faster. Humans just can't compete. And if you're a young artist hoping to break in, how and where do you even start when the entry-level gigs are disappearing before your eyes? Another corner of the art world that's been quietly disintegrating are children's books, and it's one that hurts on a more personal human level. For generations, children's illustrations have been some of the most underpaid, underappreciated, and yet most impactful illustrations available. Think about it. For so many of us, our very first exposure to art came from a children's book. Those soft watercolor skies, those playful characters, and the tiny details hidden in the background that made us stare at the page for hours. Those illustrations didn't just decorate stories, they were the stories. But now, I walk into any store and half of the books and children's books have been made by AI slop that all looks and feels the same, boring and soulless. Publishers and self-publishing authors are turning to AI models for cheap illustrations instead of hiring an artist to lovingly craft 20 pages of characters with consistency, warmth, and heart. Now they can just type a prompt "cute fox in a magical forest" and get a dozen of variations instantly. And book covers? They're one of the first victims. A cover used to be the job that gave freelancers a chance to shine. A single striking image that could make or break a book success. But AI can churn out epic fantasy warrior cover art in seconds. And it's happening. AI covers are showing up on Amazon, on indie releases, and on small press titles. But the thing is, while AI imagery can look appealing at a glance, it often collapses under scrutiny. Characters lack consistency, eyes wander in different directions, and don't even get me started on the hands. Details don't line up page to page, and most importantly, they lack soul. Children notice, adults notice. A cover that feels hollow, a picture book that feels uncanny, it doesn't stick in the memory the way a real human artist's work does. Still, the damage is being done. Fewer contracts for illustrations and fewer opportunities for new artists to enter the field. A tradition of storytelling through images is being diluted by shortcuts. And that's not just an artistic loss. It's a cultural one. When the books that raise our children are filled with machine-made imagery, what message are we sending them about creativity? That it's disposable. That imagination is something irrelevant in the modern world. The impact on this field might not be as flashy as in gaming or in film, but it's devastating in its own way. Because once publishers decide good enough is enough, an entire generation of illustrators will find their voice stifled before they ever get a chance to start. One of the darkest consequences of Gen AI is what it does to how we value the skill itself. For centuries, artistic skill has been revered. A lifetime of practice, of owning your craft, and of learning to see and translate the world with your own hands. That's what gave art meaning. It was a reflection of human persistence, perception, and imperfection. But AI strips all of that and makes it irrelevant. Suddenly, anyone with a keyboard can generate images that look polished. They may be shallow, they may crumble under scrutiny, but at first glance, they're good enough. And in a culture obsessed with speed and surface-level beauty, good enough is often all it takes. It's enough to fool the average person into buying your ad, your book, or your game. The danger is if people stop valuing the process. If they stop respecting the journey, then the human skill itself becomes disposable. I doubt that's a world any of us want to live in. But most importantly, Gen AI is built on theft. These models are trained on billions of images scraped from the internet. Images made by you, me, and artists who never gave their consent and never saw compensation, and also never had a choice. Our work, all of it, is swallowed by a machine that treats human creativity as raw data to be sold for profit. And the companies behind these models hide behind legal loopholes, insisting that training is fair use. But let's be real. If you took an artist's work and added 3 pixels on it, you'd be a thief. When AI does it, it's somehow innovation. It's revolutionary. And it's very profitable for the ones on top. Beyond all the economics and beyond the industries, there's a deeper wound. The psychological toll on artists themselves. Imagine pouring your heart into your craft for years, only to be told that a machine can do it better, faster, and cheaper. Imagine seeing your own style replicated, twisted, devalued, and sold without your consent. Imagine clients, friends, even strangers asking why they should hire you when AI is just as good, if not better. This isn't just about jobs. It's about identity, about watching the thing you've dedicated your life to be trivialized and reduced to a cheap party trick. And for many artists, the despair is real. The sense of futility, the whisper that maybe it's not worth continuing at all. I've been there, and I know many of my peers have been there as well. You'll often hear AI evangelists talk about collaboration. They'll say artists and AI can work together. But collaboration implies equality, and there's nothing equal about a system trained on stolen labor designed for the sole purpose of replacing you. When people talk about collaboration, what they really mean is assimilation. They want you to adapt to a system that is already undermining your worth. They want you to smile while your role is slowly being erased. That's not collaboration, that's survival under exploitation. Okay, now that we got all the doom and gloom out of the way, what can we actually do? Are we just supposed to give up? No, I don't think so. Because while AI may be powerful, it's not invincible. And while it may threaten, it also forces us to sharpen what makes us irreplaceable. So here are a few hard but necessary paths forward. Number 1 is you should fight for ethical boundaries. Push for legislation. Support lawsuits against companies scraping art without consent. Demand transparency in training data because artists deserve protection. Number 2 is to educate clients and your audience. Make people aware of the difference between human-made and machine-made art. Emphasize the depth, the intention, and the human-like quality that only comes from real hands. Number 3, learn how to protect your art. Educate yourselves on tools like Glaze that can, for now, disrupt the learning process of AI machines. I'll leave a link where you can read more about it down below. Number 4, try to redefine value. If AI can mimic the surface of art, then the future of human art is in its depths. The stories, the perspectives, the human flaws and vulnerability. Don't just make pretty pictures, make human images. Things AI cannot truly understand. And number 5, try to diversify your skills. It's harsh but true, the more you tie your survival to repetitive, replaceable tasks, the more vulnerable you are. Expand into storytelling, teaching, performing, connecting. Things AI struggles to replicate, at least for now. Even though it might feel dark and hopeless now, try and remember every time technology disrupts art, humans find a way to adapt. Photography didn't kill painting, and digital tools didn't kill traditional art. Each time the landscape changed, but human creativity endured. This time is different. This time is harsher, but it also forces us to ask what art really is. Is it just a pretty picture, or is it the story of the hands behind it? Because even though AI can imitate, it cannot live. It cannot feel heartbreak, it cannot know joy or sorrow, it cannot bleed or hope or dream. Your art carries your life in it, and no machine can replicate that. To sum it all up, Gen AI is pure theft. It's reshaping industries and stripping away livelihoods, and drowning out human voices. And yes, it's dark, it's harsh, and you should be angry. But don't let that anger turn into despair. Let it fuel you. Let it sharpen your understanding of what makes your voice irreplaceable. Because in the end, art has never just been about the image on the page. It's about the human behind it. And no matter how fast or shiny AI gets, it will never truly be alive. So when the storm feels overwhelming, remember this. Machines may flood the world with images, but they cannot give the world meaning. That's your gift, your weapon, and something they'll never be able to automate. Thanks for sticking around, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.